What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jordxn. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about if I started mixing vocals in 2022, what I would do. All right, this is for the people that's basically just not starting. Right, like you probably just started, been doing it for a week, a couple months. You probably been doing it for 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years, and you still kind of lost on what you would do in 2022. I'm gonna tell you where to start, so make sure you watch to the end so you don't miss none of the stuff. One of the first things that I would do in 2022 if I was a beginning engineer, I would go and download a free DAW, right, or get a free trial of a lot of different DAWs to figure out which one I want to use. Because you might go on YouTube and you'll see people using Pro Tools and they saying that's the best. You'll see people saying Ableton's the best. You'll see Studio One people saying that's the best. You'll feel Studio saying that's the best. BandLab people, GarageBand people. It's so many fucking DAWs to choose from. But listen, you can only master the one that you really want to master if you're beginning. So it's like, pick one, learn it. So try out different ones and figure out which one you feel the most comfortable with and learn that one. Another thing that I would do in 2022 is not buy templates and presets right away. And the reason I wouldn't go and buy presets and templates right out the back is because I don't understand nothing about signal chain, vocal chains, and routing and none of that shit, right? So a preset and template would be kind of worthless to me, right? I don't know nothing about mixing, right? So I would go and research and learn what is mixing and what is included in the mixing process. For example, I would go and research EQ. I would learn what EQ is. I would look at what the frequencies are on the EQ, what buzzwords correlate with some of the frequencies. I would learn like what is a notch filter, like what is cutting low end, what is a high cut, what is boosting, what is subtractive EQ, what is additive EQ. I would look into that. I would look like, okay, what is the 20K range? Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between a dynamic EQ and just like a regular EQ or a linear EQ? Like, I would go and research that. I would take notes and shit. Same thing far as like compression. I would go and be like, okay, what is compression? How is compression usually used? Depending on the genre that you are in, this shit is used differently, especially like instruments and all that shit. Shit is used differently. So it's like, I would be like, okay, what is ratio? I would write down like notes on ratio and shit like that. Like, what is good release time, good attack time, what is threshold, like what is all of this shit and what does it mean? You know, what is like what does it mean? Like, what is parallel compression? I would go and research and try to learn as much as I can. All right, that's just before, and it goes into like delay, saturation, automation. Like, I would just try to learn as much as I could about the mixing process, because like if you want to mix vocals, you need to understand why you do certain things the way you do, and you know what I'm saying, and then you can look at a preset and a template and kind of understand like, okay, why do they got this here? Okay, cool. Why do they got this there? Cool. Why is this setting like this? Cool. Oh, they got this in here. I don't really need that for this. You can take that away. That's how you learn how to mix, is when you understand like what each plugin does and how you use each individual plugin. That's why a lot of people find mixing very hard, because they don't want to put in time to figure out why shit is used the way it's used, and each song is going to be different. So a lot of people don't use EQ the same exact way, and that's okay. Like that, like nobody's going to use it the same exact way every single time. And another thing that I would recommend you do in 2022, because I would do it in 2022, even though these YouTube people do not fuck with me like that, I still show love. But listen, I would go and watch Help Me Divine. I would go watch Wavy Wayne. I would go watch In The Mix. I would go watch Reese the Fun, the fucking GOAT, you know what I'm saying, the puppet, you know what I'm saying. I would go watch these people, right? Because like Help Me Divine channel is really fucking dope when it comes to like learning how to set up shit, how to route shit, the advanced tutorial type shit, right? Because like you can go and watch him and you pretty much learn how to route and why you were routing, how to add like more like energy to your song, like feeling like the mixing layers to your songs, how to do all this other shit, right? I would go and watch this shit. Like if I didn't know something and I wanted to see like some advanced type shit, I would go watch Help Me Divine shit, right? Like if I'm in Pro Tools and I don't fucking know Pro Tools, if I want to learn how to use Pro Tools, I would go watch fucking Wavy Wayne, bro. Like I would go watch him, bro, because he's Avid certified and he's selling the course, right? But he did a lot of free shit on YouTube about how to set up Pro Tools, how to route in Pro Tools, how to do shit in Pro Tools. Like I would go and watch this nigga, bro. But that's what I would do, you know what I'm saying? Because like it's one thing to do the research, okay? I done did research, now it's time to apply some of this shit. So it's like when I'm learning the DAW, I'm looking at videos. Like these are some of the people I would go watch. Like In The Mix, I think he uses FL a lot. So it's like if I want to use FL as my main DAW, I would go and fucking watch him. Like that's just what it is. And like what I said about like Help Me Divine and Wavy Wayne and In the Mix, nigga, bro, Reed Stefan does all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Reed Stefan, that's the puppet guy. Like his girl is Cara and shit like that. Like Shotty dope. Like the puppet was like on this shit like a long fucking time ago. And I can't forget the Way Man. Like the Way Man dope as fuck too. So it's like if you want to learn how to use certain shit, go watch these niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like like a lot of people watch me and they learn some of the basic shit and it's cool, but like a lot of people watch me for like the out the box type shit. So it's like, but me personally, like if I'm starting out, I would go watch some of these people that I'm talking about in this video. And another thing that I would do if I was just not starting out, I would really decide if I'm willing to accept the engineer role. And what you probably confused by thinking like, what do you mean by accepting the engineer role? And basically, listen, you gotta understand, the engineer, you're in a service profession, right? Like you are there to provide a service, and what do they say in service? The customer is always right? So like, even though you might be the most technical person, you know the most shit in the room, right? Sometimes the technical shit, the scientific shit, the data shit don't coincide with the creative shit. Like if an artist hears something a certain way and you're like doing some shit that they don't hear, like that's not gonna work out for you, because you probably will lose a client and you will fuck their song up, because it's like if they hear it this way, they hear it that way. Like even if you don't hear what they're hear what they hear, or hear what they're hearing, you know what I'm saying? Like who are you to tell them that they're wrong? Because if it sounds good to them, that's what they want, you know? So it's like like I don't know, like you gotta set what the role is, because like the engineer gotta be the smartest person in the room, and they also gotta be able to get the client what they want. I know in some cases, like some people don't really know how to mix rap, but they can mix R&B. That's cool. Like that's cool. Like if you only want to mix R&B people because you know that's what the fuck you want to do, that's fine. Be that type of engineer. Like if you only want to mix country, cool, that's fine. Like you don't have to fuck with rappers and shit like that. If you want to mix pop, EDM, punk, whatever the fuck you want to mix, like punk music or whatever like that, it don't matter. Like you can pick a lane and you can dominate that lane, right? Like you don't have to be able to mix country, gospel, EDM, and rock and rap, and you don't have to do that unless you want to. But like being an engineer, you gotta understand, like it's not always about what you want, it's about what the song needs, it's about what you got to work with. You know, you're not gonna be able to recreate something that somebody else created as an engineer, like far as like sonically wise, because you don't know what niggas use to record. Like a lot of people excuse me, like a lot of people are trying to get like a Drake sound or a quality sound, but they're not using the materials that was used in the song. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and plus you're probably not working with an artist that got a Drake voice. You don't have that type of production. It's just different, right? So you got to be able to make the best out of whatever you can do and whatever the song needs. So are you willing to accept the engineer role? And another thing that I would do in 2022 is to really focus on mixing for a whole year before I even thought about trying to master, because regardless of what many people think, right, mastering is not putting something on the master fader, right? That's not what mastering is. Regardless of whatever you think it is or what people on YouTube say, like that's not mastering. Like that's really not mastering. Like Drake and them aren't mastering their songs like that. Kanye and them not mastering their songs like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not mastering. That's why like a lot of people can't get the industry sound or the loudness that they want, because they're basically squishing the life out of their shit by putting like compressors and limiters on the fucking master fader and basically like squashing the life out the song. But listen, if you're just now starting to mix, like if I was just now starting to mix, I would only focus on mixing, because mastering is a completely different process than mixing. I kind of forgot what the fuck I was talking about, but listen, I would only try to focus on mixing for a fucking year. And the last thing that we're gonna talk about in this video is finding stems from upcoming artists or just online and practice mixing, because this will help you learn how to mix. Because like a lot of people only mix their vocals, say they don't really know how to mix for other people. So it's like I would go and find stems online. Like I have stems on my channel, I drop them every fucking week. Only thing that be on the stems be like auto tune, so you can go in there, you can EQ, you can press DS, automate, add reverb, do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like it's stems online. I got stems on the channel. Like you can get stems and sessions from artists, and you can practice mixing. This gives you practice of dealing with a lot of different vocals. You might have some track stems, all this other shit that people don't really get all the time, because most of the time people are mixing songs that's on YouTube beats or like MP3 leases or wave leases. Even when you mixing songs and just for practice, this helps you build a portfolio as well. So now you got a portfolio. So now when you be like, yo, I'm a mixing engineer, I was reaching out to see like if you need some songs mixed, these are some songs that I mixed before. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if this meets your needs or quality standards and stuff like that. Maybe we could work something. You know, that builds a portfolio, a mixing reel. Like, if you're an engineer, you need to have a mixing reel. Like, you shouldn't just send one song that you mix for somebody. You need to send multiple songs so people can hear, like, your range, like what you can do, what's consistent, if they fuck with some of the stuff that you do. And, like, your mixing reel should be like a highlight reel at some point. You know what I'm saying? But listen, those are just some of the things that I would do if I was just not starting out trying to be an engineer, trying to mix vocals in 2022. Whether you're mixing vocals for yourself or for somebody else, you have to learn the basics, all right? Because it's not like a cheat code. Like, presets and templates are not mixing, all right? Regardless of what people tell you, that's not mixing. And you know what I'm saying, me personally, I wouldn't even do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would go and learn what is EQ, what is compression, you know what I'm saying, what is gain staging, what is all this shit, and go find videos on that and take notes from like the PDF files, the articles, the videos. Like, I would build an archive of shit and learn this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like, learning how to mix takes time. It's nothing that you can just up and just fucking do like right away. It's gonna take time. So I would spend all of 2022 trying to learn how to mix, like just understanding the techniques and the good practices and what not to do, what to do, how to troubleshoot the DAW. All of that shit's important. But listen, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Jordxn. I'm out of here. Alright, cool.